Welcome to the East Skinny, where we dig into the most recent numbers from Putnam and Westchester. The Skinny is brought to you by the Hudson Gateway Association of Realtors, featuring single-family homes from HGMLS East. Let's start with buyers. Closed sales were up 28.4% to 2,222 sales. On the seller side, new listings were up a notable 11.8% to 2,482 new homes, marking the second consecutive quarter of year-over-year increases in seller activity. This could be an emerging pattern, and it's a welcome change. Educated buyers continue to monitor seller activity closely with the hopes of additional options. Inventory levels are still thin in some areas, but the year-over-year declines could start to fade. Region-wide, the number of homes for sale fell 23.6% from last year to 4,371 units. Since reaching a peak in 2011, the number of active listings has trended downward and is back in line with historical norms. Multiple offers are still fairly common, so serious buyers really need to come out swinging because the season likely depends on it. At $613,250, the median sales price was up a respectable 3.9% compared to last year. There's reason to celebrate, as that's the highest median price since the third quarter of 2011, and it marks 4 consecutive quarters of rising prices. What's driving this, you ask? Less supply, more demand, and an improving sales mix. But what's fueling demand? Still affordable interest rates and home prices, as well as an improving labor market and rising rents. The possibility of further increases in mortgage rates and prices is also fueling buyer demand. There are 7.9 months supply of inventory in the region, which suggests that things have come back in balance. Sellers are getting offers that are more in line with asking prices than in the past. On average, sellers receive 94.8% of their original list price at the point of sale. That's the highest ratio for any quarter since the second quarter of 2006. That's the Hudson East Skinny for this quarter. Check back next time for the latest.